and to demonstrate how content creation is all a lie, every bit of it. And here's why. First of all, let's take in the pleasant sounds, and instead of thinking, oh, how loud they are, and oh, you should have a microphone and all that, take in the sounds of nature as something that breaks pattern from your day, and appreciate such beauty in this wondrous, wondrous place. This place, which is a lush jungle, it took me hours and hours to get to show you something amazing. It's not so much, see? It's a ghetto water ball, right? This is just a storm drain. And look where I am, right? This is all just an old railroad path that they made into a bike path, right? And so it looks amazing. I'm going to show you what I want to show you, and you're feeding into that. You're giving me your attention because I show you something amazing. And all my content is produced so slickly into stories that magnetically draw you in. And all of it is a lie. But what if it wasn't a lie? What if we started creating content that was in resonance and raw, truthful, without being cringely authentic, you know? And so that's what this video is about. How can we do that? Okay, content creation isn't just a lie from the places where you're at. It's also in the lighting. What kind of lighting do you do, right? Lighting that becomes cinematic. Instead of this stark contrast like this, it's a lie. When you step back and you make yourself in a better light. Is that a lie? Or is it revealing an aspect of the space you're in that's different? The one that you want people to see because it just looks better, right? Is that a lie? Or is it the truth? But here's the aspect that I think really just kind of gets glossed over. And that's this idea of scripts. Like, you know, people are familiar with scripts and they think, okay, I want to say the right thing at the right time and I want to have all the right words. Well, what if the words that you say from a non-script, from basically just having some ideas and expanding upon them, maybe those are actually the right words. They're more in resonance. When you practice resonance, I think the truth comes through more. The resonance of your voice. That's one of the things I've been working on is resonance of voice. Practicing where my voice goes and how it goes. Like, where is my natural voice? It's fun to play with, but is it a lie? I mean, if I take on a persona for the camera because it's fun and it allows me to express myself in different ways, is that a lie? Or am I revealing a different aspect of myself? This truth and lie, they're great for titles. The van lifer lies finally exposed. The RV lies finally exposed. Well, all that's BS. You're not exposing anything. You're just revealing a different aspect of it. That's all. Maybe instead of creating content in this scripted way, maybe it's time that we just allow ourselves to come forth and let go the idea of branding. Because if you look at where the word brand comes from, and the fact that corporations use it all the time, why would you, as a small content creator, want to actually adopt anything like that? Yes, some continuity between colors and ideas and things like that, but why call it branding? Why not come up with some other ideas that are a little more succinct, a little more in line with who we are, because we're not corporations. We don't want to act like them. We don't want to be like them. And the authenticity that we might get is from what we can say from our heart, what we can say from our mind and spirit coming together synchronistically. And instead of having all the right words from a script, which is basically what someone would do on TV, you don't want to be like someone on TV, do you? You want to be like yourself, but you don't want to come across like cringe, where you're exposing everything so much so that it's too much.
Sharing is cute until you do it with the wrong person.
It's like this right balance between all these aspects. Truth then is an authenticity that's shared in a way that is in resonance without being cringe and without having to rely upon the idea of perfection or the idea that it has to be scripted a certain way. And we get back to being who we are as humans. And I think the more we do that, especially with AI coming online more and more with all the AI slop, and the fact that 60% of the internet is actually made up of bots, then it's like, okay, if you look at analytics, who are you actually making content for? But when you dive into your audience and you're sitting there with them on a couch, then that authenticity comes through very clearly. And so it's like this aspect of like, do you have to have the best audio? Do you have to have the best lighting of ever? Or is that an aspect that you can work with? So you can say, okay, well, this lighting isn't as great, but I'll work with it. And maybe this lighting is better, right? But I'll work with it. And maybe it's a chance to say the universe is wanting to be part of the whole creation. So instead of sitting there on your script and saying the perfect words in the perfect way, or getting into a landscape that seems like it's so cool, and you're like, okay, now this is cool, right? Where am I? Am I in a jungle? Right? And you're just upon a path. So, I don't know. I'm experimenting with truth in video and how that plays out, like how to have it come forth. I do want to keep things interesting, but at the same time, want to expound, ideas forth without being trapped by a script. And so it's a dance between the two. And I've got some ideas on that. If you want to check out the school group I've got here, it's free. Jump in there with like-minded people, because the act of creation actually helps move all these ideas, all this information that you're overwhelmed with. It moves it into more of wisdom as you digest it, allow it out, and then actually use it. Anyway, those are just some thoughts on what authenticity really means. What does it mean for you? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.